Welcome, everybody. Your blood pressure is not just a number. It is a message. It is your body speaking to you every single day, whispering at first and then shouting when you refuse to listen. Many people take medications, try different diets, cut back on salt, even start walking a little more, yet the numbers stay high. They feel frustrated, confused, hopeless. Why won't it come down, they ask. And the answer often hides in one powerful, overlooked habit. Chronic stress, not the obvious kind. Not the sudden emergency or the loud argument. I'm talking about the silent, constant pressure you carry in your mind and body every single day. The habit of being tense, the habit of overthinking, the habit of living in fight or flight mode from morning until night. Your body was never designed to stay in survival mode 24 hours a day. When you wake up and immediately check your phone, when your mind jumps to bills, responsibilities, deadlines, conflicts, when you rush through breakfast or skip it entirely, when your shoulders tighten and your jaw clenches without you even realizing it, your nervous system is already activated. Your heart beats faster. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline surge through your blood vessels, constrict. And when blood vessels constrict, pressure rises. Now imagine this happening not once in a while, but every single day. High blood pressure is often called the silent killer. But what creates that silence? Suppressed emotion, unreleased tension, the habit of pushing through without resetting. You may think you're handling life well because you're functioning. You're going to work, taking care of family, paying the bills, but inside your body is bracing, guarded, tight, and tight blood vessels mean high pressure. Here's something powerful. Your arteries are lined with delicate cells called the endothelium. These cells help your blood vessels relax and expand. But when stress becomes chronic, inflammation rises. Oxidative stress increases. That beautiful lining becomes irritated and stiff. The arteries results the embryo respinative tissues and distill the festival. The heart must pump harder to move blood forward. The pressure climbs. It's not always about salt. It's not always about genetics. It's not always about age. Sometimes it's about the tension you refuse to release. Think about how you breathe during the day. Is it slow and deep? Or shallow and fast? Shallow breathing tells the brain you're in danger. The brain responds by tightening blood vessels and raising heart rate. Over time, this becomes your new normal. Your body forgets how to relax. And then you sit at the doctor's office. The cuff tightens around your arm. The numbers flash on the screen. They're high again. You feel defeated. But here's the empowering truth. If one habit can raise your blood pressure, one habit can also help bring it down. Your nervous system has two main gears, the accelerator and the brake. Most people live with the accelerator pressed down all day. Very few intentionally use the brake. The brake is the parasympathetic system. It lowers heart rate. It relaxes blood vessels. It improves circulation. It reduces inflammation. And you activate it with something as simple as conscious breathing and daily decompression. Imagine taking just 5 minutes in the morning before touching your phone. Sitting quietly, inhaling slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. Holding for 4. Exhaling gently for 6, doing this repeatedly. You are sending a powerful signal to your brain, I am safe, there is no threat. You can relax now. Blood vessels respond. The heart responds. Hormones respond. This isn't motivational fluff. This is physiology. Now let's go deeper. Many people hold emotional stress for years. Resentment, guilt, fear of failure, constant comparison. Every time you replay that argument in your mind, your body reacts as if it's happening again. Your vessels tighten again. You may not see it, but your body keeps the score. Forgiveness, not for others, but for your own freedom. Lowers stress hormones. Gratitude shifts brain chemistry. Slow movement like walking in nature improves nitric oxide production, which helps arteries dilate. Quality sleep resets your hormonal balance and lowers morning blood pressure spikes. But none of this works if you maintain the habit of mental overload. You cannot heal in the same state that made you sick. If you drink coffee on an empty stomach while scrolling through stressful news, rush through traffic, skip meals, sit for hours without moving, and go to bed with your mind racing, your body never gets a break. Medication may lower the number temporarily, but the root remains. And here's what's beautiful. Your body wants to heal. It is constantly trying to restore balance. The moment you give it the right environment, it begins adjusting. Within days of reducing stress and breathing deeply, many people notice lower readings. Within weeks of consistent relaxation and mindful habits, arteries become more flexible, inflammation decreases, the heart works more efficiently. You don't need perfection, you need awareness. Catch yourself when your shoulders rise, relax them, unclench your jaw, take one slow breath, step outside for sunlight, put your bare feet on the ground, drink water before caffeine, move your body gently after meals, turn off screens 1 hour before sleep. Small habits, Powerful effects. And here's something most people don't realize. The mind can either constrict or expand your entire cardiovascular system. Fear contracts, calm expands, gratitude softens, anger tightens, your emotional state directly influences your blood vessels. Ask yourself honestly, how often do I feel at ease, Jeff, to finish stressed? You're human, but you are powerful enough to change how you respond to it. You can choose moments of stillness. You can choose slower breathing. You can choose to pause instead of react. And every time you do, your heart thanks you. High blood pressure is not your enemy. It is feedback. It is your body asking for balance. It is your body asking you to slow down, breathe deeper, and live with intention instead of constant urgency. Imagine your arteries soft and flexible, your heart steady and strong, your mind calm and clear. That vision is not fantasy. It is possible when you break the one habit of living in chronic tension. Start today, not with fear, not with overwhelm, but with one slow breath, then another. Let your nervous system remember what safety feels like. Let your body remember what relaxation feels like. And watch how the numbers begin to reflect the peace you create within. Chronic stress is one of the most underestimated forces affecting your blood pressure. Most people look at salt, weight, age, or family history, and while those factors matter, they often overlook the constant internal pressure created by the mind. When stress becomes a daily habit rather than a temporary response, your body never truly powers down. It stays alert, guarded, and ready for danger, even when there is none. That constant state of readiness silently drives your blood pressure higher. Your nervous system was designed for short bursts of stress. Thousands of years ago, if a threat appeared, your body released adrenaline and cortisol to help you run or fight. Your heart rate increased, your blood vessels tightened to redirect blood to vital organs, and your blood pressure rose temporarily to support survival. Once the danger passed, your system relaxed, heart rate slowed, blood vessels widened, pressure normalized. The system worked beautifully because stress was short-lived. Today, the threats are different. They are not wild animals or immediate physical danger. They are deadlines, financial concerns, relationship tension, job insecurity, traffic, constant notification. The problem is not that stress exists. It is that it never truly stops. Your body cannot distinguish between a charging predator and an angry email. It reacts the same way. Adrenaline rises, cortisol floods your bloodstream, blood vessels constrict. Heart rate increases. Now imagine this happening not once, but dozens of times a day. When stress becomes chronic, cortisol levels remain elevated. High cortisol damages the delicate lining of your blood vessels, known as the endothelium. This lining plays a critical role in producing nitric oxide, a compound that allows blood vessels to relax and expand. When nitric oxide production decreases, arteries become stiff and less flexible. Stiff arteries create resistance. Resistance forces your heart to pump harder. The harder your heart pumps against resistance, the higher your blood pressure climbs. At the same time, chronic stress triggers inflammation throughout the body. Inflammation further damages blood vessel walls, encouraging plaque buildup and narrowing of the arteries. Narrow arteries mean less space for blood to flow. Less space means greater pressure. Over time, this combination of stiffness, inflammation, and narrowing creates a perfect storm for persistent hypertension. Stress also disrupts your kidneys, which are responsible for regulating fluid balance and sodium levels. Elevated stress hormones signal the body to retain more sodium and water. More fluid in your bloodstream increases volume. Increased volume raises pressure. Even if you reduce salt intake, ongoing stress can interfere with the body's ability to maintain balance. Then there's the behavioral side of stress. When people are overwhelmed, they often reach for quick comfort, processed foods, sugary snacks, caffeine, alcohol, or nicotine. Sleep suffers. Physical activity declines. Late night screen time increases. Each of these behaviors independently raises blood pressure, but when combined with chronic stress, the effect multiplies. It becomes a cycle. Stress raises pressure. Poor habits develop. Poor habits raise pressure further, and the cycle continues. Another powerful factor is muscle tension. Many people carry stress physically without realizing it. Shoulders remain tight. The jaw clenches. The neck stiffens. Even the tiny muscles surrounding blood vessels contract under stress. That muscular tension contributes to vascular constriction. If you are tense from morning until night, your arteries are never fully relaxed. Breathing patterns change as well. Chronic stress leads to shallow, rapid breathing. Shallow breathing reduces oxygen efficiency and signals the brain that the body is still under threat. This keeps the sympathetic nervous system, the accelerator, engaged. The longer it stays engaged, the harder it becomes for the parasympathetic system, the brake to activate. Without that brake, heart rate and vascular tone remain elevated. What makes chronic stress especially dangerous is that it becomes normal. You adapt to feeling rushed. You adapt to mental overload. You adapt to tightness in your chest or shoulders. Because the sensation feels familiar, you assume it is harmless. Meanwhile, your cardiovascular system is under constant strain. Your HIA, RT muscle, thickens from overwork. Your arteries stiffen from inflammation. Your pressure readings remain stubbornly high despite your best efforts. Research consistently shows that individuals with high perceived stress have a significantly greater risk of developing hypertension. It is not just the stressful events themselves, but how frequently and intensely you experience them internally. Two people can face the same external challenge. One maintains calm, the other internalizes fear. The physiological response determines long-term cardiovascular impact. Chronic stress also interferes with sleep quality, and poor sleep further elevates blood pressure. During deep sleep, your body performs vital repair processes. Blood pressure naturally dips at night, giving your heart and vessels a chance to rest. When stress disrupts sleep, this nightly dip may not occur. Without that restorative phase, pressure remains elevated around the clock. The most important realization is that chronic stress is not just an emotion, it is a full-body chemical and mechanical response. It changes hormones, tightens arteries, increases inflammation, alters kidney function, disrupts sleep, and shapes daily habits. It is a comprehensive assault on cardiovascular balance. Understanding this shifts the focus from simply fighting high numbers to addressing the internal environment driving those numbers. When you recognize that constant mental tension translates into physical vascular tension, you begin to see blood pressure differently. It becomes less about punishment and more about feedback. Your body is not betraying you. It is responding precisely to the signals it receives every day. Your nervous system is the hidden conductor of your cardiovascular health. Most people think blood pressure is purely about diet, exercise, or genetics, but the truth is that the nervous system has a direct NDS-CAA profound effect on the heart and blood vessels. It functions like a finely tuned orchestra, with the sympathetic system acting as the accelerator and the parasympathetic system serving as the brake. When these systems are out of balance, blood pressure becomes stubbornly high, and traditional approaches alone often fail to bring it down. The sympathetic nervous system is responsible for the fight-or-flight response. It releases hormones like adrenaline and cortisol that prepare your body to face danger. Your heart beats faster, your blood vessels tighten, and your muscles tense. These responses are life-saving in short bursts. But when the accelerator stays pressed down day in and day out, the heart is overworked. Arteries lose flexibility and blood pressure climbs. Chronic activation of the sympathetic system leads to increased arterial stiffness, elevated stress hormone levels, and inflammation, all of which directly contribute to hypertension. Unfortunately, most modern lifestyles are sympathetic nervous system traps. You wake up to an alarm clock, immediately scroll through stressful news or emails, rush to work, face tight deadlines, deal with traffic, juggle responsibilities, and return home mentally exhausted. Even when physically still, your body remains in a heightened state of alert. Shallow breathing, tight muscles, clenched jaws, and constant mental chatter reinforce the message to your brain that danger is ever present. Your blood vessels constrict, your heart pumps harder, and your nervous system keeps the accelerator pressed. The parasympathetic system, on the other hand, is your natural brake. It activates when the body senses safety, allowing heart rate to slow, blood vessels to expand, and the body to repair and rejuvenate. This system lowers cortisol, and adrenaline improves digestion, enhances immune function, and allows for better sleep. ACT. Evading the parasympathetic system is not just a relaxation exercise, it is a physiological intervention for blood pressure regulation. Every time you consciously engage it, you are essentially lowering the strain on your heart and giving your arteries a chance to regain flexibility. Breathing is one of the most powerful tools for activating the parasympathetic system. Deep, slow diaphragmatic breathing signals the brain that you are safe, which triggers a cascade of reactions throughout the cardiovascular system. Your heart rate slows, blood vessels relax, and nitric oxide production increases, allowing better dilation. Shallow, rapid breathing, common under stress, does the opposite. It keeps the sympathetic system engaged and prevents your body from accessing the natural brake. Simple changes, like inhaling for 4 seconds, holding for 4 and exhaling for 6, repeated for several minutes, can reset your nervous system and immediately reduce vascular tension. Movement is another crucial component. Gentle physical activity, particularly walking, yoga, or stretching, reduces sympathetic dominance and enhances parasympathetic activity. Exercise helps lower cortisol, improves circulation, and promotes nitric oxide production, all of which support lower blood pressure. Unlike intense workouts that can temporarily raise pressure, these mindful movements act as a reset, helping your nervous system shift from constant activation to restoration. Sleep is intimately connected to nervous system balance. During deep sleep, the parasympathetic system dominates. Heart rate decreases, blood vessels dilate, and the body performs critical repair processes. Chronic stress interferes with sleep patterns, reducing time spent in restorative stages and prolonging sympathetic dominance. Poor sleep creates a vicious cycle. High stress keeps you awake, and inadequate rest prevents your nervous system from recovering, which keeps blood pressure elevated. Prioritizing consistent, high-quality sleep is not optional. It is a key intervention for managing hypertension. Mental and emotional practices also directly influence the nervous system. Meditation, mindfulness, journaling, and gratitude exercises train the brain to disengage from chronic sympathetic activation. When you consciously pause, focus on your breath, or shift attention to positive experiences, you reduce cortisol, calm heart rate, and relax arterial walls. Emotional regulation, including releasing resentment or forgiving past events, reduces chronic tension and promotes parasympathetic dominance. The nervous system responds to what you think and feel, making mental habits just as important as physical ones for blood pressure control. Even posture and physical tension influence nervous system activity. Sitting hunched over a desk, holding your shoulders high, or clenching your jaw sends constant signals of alertness to the brain. Over time, your nervous system interprets this as a threat, keeping the sympathetic system engaged. Simple adjustments like rolling shoulders back, relaxing the jaw, and lengthening the spine create subtle yet continuous cues that your body is safe. Activating the brake and reducing vascular resistance, caffeine, stimulants, and excessive screen time further disrupt nervous system balance. They mimic stress hormones, keeping the sympathetic system active and preventing the parasympathetic system from taking over. Reducing stimulants, taking breaks from screens, and allowing quiet moments throughout the day give your nervous system opportunities to reset naturally. It's also important to recognize the role of awareness. Many people live in sympathetic dominance without realizing it. They accept tension, rapid thoughts, shallow breathing, and tight muscles as normal. Becoming conscious of these patterns is the first step in reclaiming nervous system balance. Once you notice the physical and mental signals of stress, you can consciously engage practices that lower pressure and support arterial health. Ultimately, your nervous system is the bridge between mind, emotion, and cardiovascular health. Chronic activation of the sympathetic system elevates blood pressure, while conscious engagement of the parasympathetic system lowers it. By understanding this connection, you realize that blood pressure is not just about external factors like salt or exercise. It is about the daily internal environment you create for your body. Through breathing, movement, sleep, emotional regulation, posture, and awareness, you can retrain your nervous system to favor the brake over the accelerator, giving your heart and arteries the relief they desperately need. Every choice you make, every habit you cultivate, either keeps the accelerator pressed or allows the brake to engage. By intentionally prioritizing nervous system balance, you are not just managing blood pressure, you are fundamentally improving your cardiovascular resilience, reducing long-term risk, and empowering your body to function optimally. The nervous system is not passive, it is the conductor of your health, and learning to direct it consciously is one of the most effective strategies for lowering stubborn hypertension naturally. Small daily habits may seem insignificant at first glance, but over time they create profound changes in your blood pressure and overall cardiovascular health. Many people search for quick fixes, a pill, a diet, a magic routine, hoping for immediate results. The truth is that consistency in simple, intentional actions produces far greater, long-lasting effects than any temporary measure. Each small habit, repeated daily, compounds like interest. Fee in a bank account, gradually improving vascular flexibility, hormonal balance, and nervous system regulation. One of the most powerful habits is mindful breathing. Taking just 5 minutes each morning to sit quietly and breathe deeply can reset your nervous system and set the tone for the entire day. Slow, diaphragmatic breaths signal the brain that the body is safe, reducing sympathetic activation, lowering cortisol, and allowing blood vessels to relax. Deep breathing stimulates nitric oxide production, which directly improves vascular dilation. Over time, Practicing this habit daily rewires your body's default response to stress, making relaxation the default instead of tension. Movement is another critical habit. You don't need a high-intensity workout or hours in the gym. What matters is consistency. Gentle walking, stretching, yoga, or even simple mobility exercises throughout the day help keep blood vessels flexible and reduce vascular resistance. Physical activity enhances circulation, improves nitric oxide availability, and strengthens the heart without triggering chronic sympathetic activation. Even brief bouts of movement, like walking for 10 minutes after meals, can help regulate blood pressure and improve digestion, both of which influence cardiovascular health. Sleep is an often overlooked habit that profoundly affects blood pressure. Quality sleep allows the parasympathetic nervous system to dominate, giving the heart and blood vessels a chance to rest. Chronic sleep deprivation prevents this recovery period, keeping sympathetic activity high and maintaining elevated pressure. Prioritizing a consistent sleep schedule, creating a relaxing bedtime routine, and reducing screen exposure before bed trains the body to enter deep restorative sleep. Over time, these small adjustments allow for natural blood pressure dips at night, reducing overall strain. On the cardiovascular system, nutrition also plays a role in daily habits. While reducing salt and processed foods is important, timing, balance, and consistency matter just as much. Eating regular nutrient-dense meals prevents spikes in stress hormones triggered by hunger or blood sugar fluctuations. Incorporating foods that support vascular health, leafy greens, vegetables, healthy fats, and adequate protein provides the body with the nutrients it needs to repair and maintain blood vessels. Hydration is equally important. Even mild dehydration increases vascular resistance and contributes to higher pressure. Drinking water consistently throughout the day is a small but impactful habit. Mental and emotional practices are powerful, often overlooked daily habits. Journaling, meditation, gratitude exercises, or simply taking a few quiet moments to reflect each day reduces chronic stress and lowers blood pressure. Emotional tension that accumulates from unresolved conflicts, suppressed feelings, or constant mental chatter directly affects vascular tone. By creating a daily habit of emotional release and mindfulness, you reduce sympathetic dominance, allowing arteries to relax and the heart to function efficiently. Forgiveness, reframing negative experiences, and practicing compassion toward yourself and others are all habits that produce measurable physiological benefits. Posture and body awareness are subtle but impactful daily habits. Many people spend hours hunched over desks or slouched in chairs, holding tension in their shoulders, neck, and jaw. This physical tension communicates stress signals to the nervous system, keeping sympathetic activity high. Daily practices such as stretching, rolling shoulders, unclenching the jaw, and maintaining an upright posture help signal safety to the brain, allowing the parasympathetic system to engage. Small, repeated movements throughout the day accumulate to reduce chronic tension and promote vascular flexibility. Limiting stimulants and screen exposure is another small but vital habit. Excess caffeine, energy drinks, and prolonged screen time mimic stress hormones and maintain sympathetic activation. Reducing intake and creating intentional breaks from screens throughout the day give the nervous system time to recover. Even a few minutes spent outside with natural light and fresh air can reset heart rate, improve mood, and support blood vessel relaxation. Consistency is the key that transforms these small actions into powerful results. Practicing one habit inconsistently yields minimal effect, but daily repetition creates physiological adaptation. Arteries regain flexibility, nitric oxide production improves, stress hormone levels normalize, and the parasympathetic system becomes more effective. Blood pressure begins to reflect these changes gradually. What feels like tiny, almost insignificant actions accumulate into substantial, measurable improvements over time. Awareness amplifies the impact of daily habits. When you notice moments of tension, shallow breathing, or mental overload, and choose to pause, breathe, or move, you actively retrain your nervous system. This awareness turns habits into deliberate interventions, strengthening the body's natural ability to self-regulate. Over weeks and months, these conscious actions reinforce a pattern of relaxation and resilience that dramatically influences blood pressure regulation. Even small lifestyle tweaks, when repeated consistently, compound in their effect. Drinking water before caffeine, stepping outside for sunlight, walking after meals, taking a few minutes for gratitude, prioritizing quality sleep, adjusting posture, and practicing deep breathing. Each habit alone may seem minor, but together they create a powerful energy. They provide the body with the environment it needs to reduce inflammation, lower sympathetic dominance, improve vascular function, and ultimately support healthier blood pressure readings. By committing to these small daily habits, you are not relying on luck medications or temporary fixes. You are creating a system in which your body can naturally regulate itself. Consistency in these habits rewires the nervous system, strengthens the cardiovascular system, and cultivates a resilient foundation for long-term health. Over time, what begins as small intentional actions becomes an integrated lifestyle that naturally supports balanced blood pressure and overall well-being. These habits are not complicated and they are not extreme. They are small, practical, repeatable actions that anyone can incorporate. The power comes not from intensity, but from frequency and persistence. Repetition transforms actions into automatic behaviors that continuously support your heart, blood vessels, and nervous system. In this way, blood pressure becomes a reflection of your daily habits rather than a mystery or an uncontrollable number. The cumulative effect of these small habits is profound. They gradually reverse the negative impacts of chronic stress, poor lifestyle patterns, and sympathetic dominance. Your arteries become more flexible, your heart works more efficiently, and your body restores its natural ability to regulate blood pressure. Each day that you practice these habits is an investment in long-term cardiovascular health, resilience, and vitality. When you step back and look at the bigger picture, high blood pressure is not an enemy, it is a messenger. It tells you where your body is under tension, where your habits are misaligned, and where your mind and nervous system need care. The stubborn numbers on the cuff are not a reflection of weakness or failure. Hey, or feedback from a body that has been carrying stress, chronic tension, and lifestyle patterns that keep it in constant alert. Understanding this changes everything. Instead of just reacting with medication, restrictive diets, or quick fixes, you gain clarity about the true drivers of your blood pressure and where real, lasting change comes from. Chronic stress, sympathetic dominance, shallow breathing, poor sleep, emotional tension, and small lifestyle choices compound over time to keep blood pressure elevated. Yet the power to shift it lies entirely in your daily actions. By addressing the root, the tension in your mind, the habits in your body, the choices that activate or relax your nervous system, you create a foundation for natural regulation. Deep, conscious breathing, gentle movement, quality sleep, emotional release, proper nutrition, mindful posture, and consistent small habits all work together to lower vascular resistance, reduce inflammation, and restore balance. What may feel minor on any single day accumulates, creating profound physiological change over weeks and months. The nervous system is the ultimate bridge between mind, emotion, and cardiovascular health. When you learn to engage the parasympathetic system, the brake, you allow your heart, arteries, and entire body to recover, relax, and function optimally. Every small choice you make signals either tension or safety to your body. Repeated over time, these choices determine whether blood pressure remains elevated or gradually returns to a healthier range. Awareness, consistency, and intentionality are the tools that transform your physiology and empower you to take control of your health. Ultimately, lowering blood pressure is not about perfection, extreme measures, or fear. It is about reclaiming balance in your daily life. By understanding the true drivers, cultivating empowering habits, and engaging your nervous system in a restorative way, you are giving your body the chance it needs to heal itself naturally. Each deliberate action is a step toward freedom from chronic tension, and over time those steps become a new default, a lifestyle that supports both heart and mind. Your body is listening to you every moment, responding not to intentions alone, but to the patterns you practice daily, and the power to change those patterns is entirely in your hands.